Hello, today I'm going to show you how to create a template in Asana. So if you have a task you want to do it again and again, and you sort of want to have a master checklist for it, this is how I recommend that you do it. There are two ways. There's a project way and a task way. So I'm going to show you the project way first, which is the one that I actually recommend because you have a bit more control over where it shows up. And I'll show you a little bit of the reason why, but maybe you don't care about the why too much. So when I come to my Asana and I look at it like this is what I see. So if you don't see it like this, I encourage you to try and find this view by clicking on home. What I see is I have home and then I have my tasks, inbox, and then my favorites. And then I have like kind of all my projects I've ever done before. So the main thing with a template in Asana is there's really nothing to it. All you do is create a project or like a process, and then you just name it template. And then you kind of vow to yourself, I'm only ever going to make a copy of this one, and I'm always going to work in the copy. I'm not going to work in this template one. So we've all made the mistake of creating a template and accidentally starting to work in it. It's fine, like it's not the end of the world, but that's all there is. It's just a mental attitude, like this is my template and I only work in a copy. Now, my favorite way to work in Asana to do this template is to create a project. I also personally love the board view, and I would just call it whatever it is. Like let's say we're doing a webinar setup, or we're just going to call it the webinar template, right? I like order, and I'll show you why. Because it's got the to do, the in progress, and the done. Now, to keep it nice and simple, I'm going to suggest that you remove the in progress, because why? And so here we would have the the setup or the to do. Let's just leave it like that because that's nice and simple. But over time, you'll refine your setup system. So task one might be empty email, nice spelling, list, right? So that might be the first step. And then the next step would be create a Zoom meeting. And then the next thing is to edit the automation with the new Zoom link. And then the next thing to do is to edit the sales page, right? So this is just an example. You have a great checklist already in your mind, or you've done it a bunch of times before, or this time when you set up your webinar, just put all the steps here. Now, what will happen with this template is it will show up down the bottom here, webinar template, and you can give it a color. You can do whatever you want with it. I love giving everything a color. Now, this is your template, right? And what you'll do is you'll click these three dots and then you'll go duplicate project, and then you'll go duplicate of, no, we don't want that, not webinar template, we're just going to call it like December webinar, right? And then you probably don't have project members. If it's just for you, you probably don't have tags. You might have attachments, you might have subtasks. The assignee is just yourself, right? So I would suggest that you tick those things, and depending on what else you've got going on, you might choose to bring those over. So now we're creating a duplicate of that, which is called December webinar rather than webinar template. And now this is the one that I would also add it to favorites so that it shows up the top here, December webinar, and you're not getting confused. I'd probably also give it a different color because that's how I roll. I'd be like, oh, this is the active one, and the red one. Red means stop. Red means don't use it. Anyway, so we're in there, and then basically you'll go in, you'll allocate it to me, and you'll set yourself a date. So when you're ready, go in, set all your dates so that you get reminders. You're like, oh, the Zoom meeting, that has to happen straight away. Edit the sales page, that has to happen straight away. But then there'll be other things like, create the follow-up email that only actually has to happen about 2 days before the actual webinar, because that will give you heaps of time. So you'll go and give that a later on date to beep at you. And basically you just drag the tasks across. Okay, done that. And also inside each task you can click mark complete. So get a fancy Pegasus or something. That's basically all there is to it. It's just a matter of create the project, never use the template, duplicate the original template, and I like to add it to my favorites so it's up the top so I'm not getting lost, I'm not getting confused. You might want your template up in your favorites, and it will just show up here, and you can tell the difference because it's red or whatever color. The green means go, try that. And now I'm going to show you the other thing you can do, is you can create a task, and you might call it webinar setup, and you can just call it whatever you want there. Then you create the task. Now that's going to pop up in my tasks, webinar setup. And the beautiful thing about tasks is you can add subtasks. So you might have, you know, empty email list, create the Zoom link, edit Zoom link into emails, automation, etc., etc. And again, you'll just, but let's call this one the template. And again, so that's going to exist here. And all you have to do is come to these three dots here, say duplicate task, call it December, webinar setup, get rid of template, and parent task. There's no parent task. It's not part of a project, it doesn't have tags. Keep the attachments. Keep all of those, create a new one, and so that's going to show up there. And the main issue that I guess I have with this is that it only shows up in my tasks. It's kind of just not as visible. Like projects to me just look really, they're more in the column here, they're bigger, you can give them colors and stuff. And for my brain, it works better to have it set up as a project, even though it might be a little bit overkill. I also love it that you can drag things over and be really clear, like what's done, what's to do. So that's my little tip. If I went too fast, I suggest that you rewatch me and pause me because it's really not that much fun. Netflix is probably funner. If you like this video, you could give it a thumbs up. That's for YouTube. You don't have to. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, the easiest way to do that is to subscribe, and then each time a new video comes out from me, YouTube will kind of let you know. If you really want to know, then you can click the bell and you'll get an actual noise every time a new video comes out from me. I hope that was helpful. I hope you have a really beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.